second semester started off okay. For our guys, it started off okay. We got a win against Smithville last Tuesday at our place. Improved to 8-3 on the year, and Smithville's a Class 4 team, as we are as well, so that helps come playoff time, district seeding, potential matchups down the line, and some common opponents that we have and that Smithville has as well. So it was a good win for us. As far as the final result, we got a lot of work that we're still kind of in the process of going through. What I've told anybody who's asked is, this past week of practice, it worked out really well. We played Tuesday. We don't play again until today. So we've had kind of 4 or 5 days of really being able to practice and get better and get each other better. So we've had what I would call some opportunities for growth. Everybody our team has been phenomenal about it. It's as hard as we've worked really all year, simply because of timing. It's not an excuse, but football runs late, and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and a lot of games first semester, and everything else that comes along with it. So we hadn't had an opportunity to really push each other and grow, because we had to make sure we were focused on our games. So our opportunities for growth have been there, and we're there this last week. I'm really proud of our guys as far as how they've responded to it, because I certainly wasn't easy on them. And we have a test tonight against a really good Park Hill team at their place, kind of our second true road environment. Played at Fort Osage to start the year, and then otherwise any game that we haven't played here has been what I would call a neutral site. So it'll be a good test, because conference play is going to heat up here in a little bit, and obviously those are road games, and they present their challenges with crowds and everything else. So it'll be a good test for us, and it's a good club, and a lot of respect for their staff and those guys and how they do things. So we got to keep getting better. We're 8-3 on the year, but the only thing we're worried about is trying to win one game today, and then we'll have the chance to kind of regroup, and then we play in the Stessman tournament the next week. But focused on today and seeing what we can do against a good Park Hill team. So with that, open it up to you guys.
What are things you took away from the Smithville game that you were working on in practice this week? The stuff that we're using that came out of the Smithville game, the bottom line is it comes down to execution for us. We've got talent, but there's times where we just don't execute. We don't do what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it, whether it's a play that's called, whether it's a play that needs to be made. But our execution needed to improve, and I don't know if that was just a lack of experience, if it was the opponent, if it was immaturity, if it was, I don't know what it was, but biggest thing that we've been harping on them is being able to execute our stuff, and then as far as the non-basketball stuff, we just need to make sure that we've got great energy, great enthusiasm. I thought our game versus Smithville, we acted like it was a chore to play, and that bothers me. That bothers me a lot, because this is a blast. It should be for the guys. The support that they've got is incredible, and I felt that they just were, they felt like they were, I don't know, they looked beat, and it bothered me. And so we spent some time talking it out and hashing it out, and the last 4 days they've had a lot of opportunities to show a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and they have. Every team goes through it. It's just we're fortunate enough to be going through some of this stuff, and we're at 8-3 on the year. So, thank goodness we're not going through it. We're 3-8, because who knows if I'd be able to sit up here and talk to you guys. I'd be so mad at them. But it's a good group who wants to do the right things. I just need to make sure that I'm doing my job in coaching.
Going into tonight's game, what are some key things that the team needs to do to shut down Park Hill?
Well, Park Hill might have the best player that we've played against this year. In my opinion, Landry Shamet, number 20 for them, is one of the better players in the city. He's a junior. Really smooth, can shoot, can drive, can post, he can do everything. So we need to make sure we're alert and aware of him.
would be number one. And then number two is they've got guys that are good enough to shoot, to stretch the floor. So you can't just focus on one guy and lose track. 11, 24, 25, 50, all are guys who can shoot it. And we need to make sure that we get to them. So we're going to be challenged defensively. But on the flip side, we probably have an advantage when it comes to size and strength in the post. We can probably take a huge jump in that area by making sure that we're dominant, taking the ball inside.
Feels like you feel like you guys are going to be more focused tonight than you were on Tuesday night?
My guess is they'll be more focused. We'll be more focused, would be my guess. And I'm smiling and laughing about it, but my guess is we'll be more focused, or we might not have everybody show up to practice on Wednesday. That's my guess. So, we've grown in a very positive way through some adversity. And listen, it's nothing that any team doesn't go through. So we will be more focused. We will have more energy. I'm excited to coach the team because I think my hope is that I'm not going to have to do a lot of coaching tonight, that they're going to take care of themselves, take that responsibility that goes along with being a varsity player here, take that responsibility and embrace it, and take care of the program and take care of each other and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. We'll be ready to go.
Who stood out as a leader so far this year?
Well, that's developing. Our leadership really, it starts with the coaches. The coaches have to demonstrate good leadership to the guys. And then the second aspect of it is we have to let the guys lead. So we had different leadership with 9 seniors and guys that have been there for 3 years. And so you throw in, your 3 seniors, Brinkley, Ian, and Ryan, and you put those guys in there, and you kind of expect them to lead. But, do they really know how to lead? And early on, they were okay. But as time's going on, they're growing and they're understanding. Because leading isn't always talking. Leading isn't always, playing a certain way or doing a certain thing. Leading is not directly proportional to minutes played or to points scored. And so it took some time for those guys to figure out what being a leader means. And through some adversity, through some stretching or growth of themselves and of our team, guys are starting to be able to rely on each other and turn to certain guys. And I would point to our 3 seniors. I'd point to Ryan, Brinks, and Ian as guys who guys turn to, look up to. And then our juniors that are getting a lot of minutes for us, Richards, Sharp, Cale Hansen, those guys are getting turned to also because they've been in the program, they've experienced it, and guys want to know and want to be around. So maybe not as verbal as the seniors have been, but by example. So it's developing. I think the coaches, our staff's trying to being more conscious about letting those guys lead. They can't lead if we're always talking and telling them what to do. They got to kind of figure it out themselves. And early on, I didn't do a great job of it because it was a young team, and I wanted to control everything and tell them what they're supposed to do all the time. But that's ever evolving, and once conference play hits especially, I think we'll see some leaders really grow.
I think we all have heard that your practices have maybe gotten a little harder lately. What are you trying to build or strengthen or teach the guys?
Well, Abby, you can't believe everything you hear. We've just been playing horse and shooting half-court shots at practice. So, right? Not so much. Yeah, practices have taken a little different tone. What we've been trying to accomplish is really simple. I told these guys this quote yesterday, but it's hard to play well. It's easy to play hard. It's hard to play well. It's easy to play hard. And we were confusing the two. We thought it was easy to play well and it was hard to play hard. And we had to make sure that they understood that this is a very hard game to play at our level. The joke is, they're on varsity too. They're going to earn their letter too, the opponent that we play. They're coached too. They run plays too. So it's not like, you can't expect another team to be good. And I think that maybe we did that a little bit. But it's hard to play well because there's so many factors that go into it. I'm speaking for our guys here, but, I bet you they feel pressure, a lot of pressure. Probably the pressure they put on themselves, but then also the pressure of we want to win. We want to, continue and build on, the program. And this is a group that didn't quite know exactly how to do that. And then the other thing is guys are in different roles than they've been. So a guy who, was maybe a sixth man or a guy off the bench is now a starter, or a guy who didn't play is now off the bench, and they didn't understand quite how that role changes you. And then when we weren't playing well, then we kind of got internally and started to what I would call pout, and I don't like pouters. They drive me nuts. So we had to try to make sure guys understood how not to pout. And then we got to the point where we started playing hard. And so we focused the last 4 or 5 days on playing really hard, taking care of ourselves, playing really hard, being a good teammate, because we have enough talent to be a good team. But if we can't get the intangible stuff down, then we'll struggle a little bit.
This is really going to be your second road test in a hostile environment. How do you think you guys are going to handle it better than they did the first time?
Well, hopefully the experience of playing some games will help. I anticipate a good crowd from Park Hill. So playing games, regardless of setting, getting more comfortable with that. But then I hope that a crowd in a hostile environment will energize us. We'll use it and channel it in a positive way because, there's nothing better than going into somebody else's place and making everybody else be quiet and get uneasy. Everybody wants to cheer and yell, and, if they've got 70, 80% of the crowd, there's nothing better than hearing your 20 or 30% the entire night. And that's something that, you can't, they don't play the state championship at Liberty North. So you aren't going to win the state championship on your home court. And so you got to get used to winning on the road. You got to get used to winning in different environments and different settings. And I don't take that as we're going to win the state championship. But the point is, you got to win games in different settings and again in different circumstances. And the crowd at Park Hill tonight will be, and I got to think that they're going to be pretty energized themselves. They're a good team. They got good players. And our guys are. I'm interested to see how we respond, but I think we'll channel it in the right direction. That concluded for today. Hope that we talk about the crowd Park Hill is going to bring. Hope that we'll see you all. Hope that you guys can help spread the word and get a lot of folks over there tonight to support us. The guys, we've kind of joked about it, but the guys have been working really hard. They've been working extremely hard. I'm extremely proud of them. I'm really happy for them, and I'm excited to see them get to kind of show off what they've been doing the last 4 or 5 days tonight. And that's exciting for me. I hope it's exciting for you. Hope we can see you guys over there, and look forward to talking to you guys next week. Thanks.